Hey, it's Terry, your yoga bestie, and I got a great class for you today. We're continuing our exploration through the Yama of Ahimsa. So, Yama is just one of the 8 limbs of yoga that it talks about how we approach ourselves in the outside world. And Ahimsa is just a way of saying kindness. So, can't wait for you to join us. You don't really need any props in particular, but of course, I like to have my blocks. So go ahead and find any position that you like to check in with your breath. It might be seated, it could be child's pose, it might be a reclined position, it might be petting your dog. My buddy Lionel's right here with us. But once you've found your space, just determine where you want your arms and legs to be, maybe wiggle into that space a little bit, and then we'll close our eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, letting go of any thoughts or worries so that you can prepare your mind for your practice. So we'll inhale, feeling the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, we're gonna feel an expansion through our bellies, the side bodies, the rib cage, and that breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on our exhalation, we're gonna feel our belly button draw in towards the spine, allowing us to use all 3 parts of the lungs. Our breath is our energy source, so it's gonna allow us to be present throughout the practice. So see if you can create a rhythm where you inhale to the count of 3, 4, 5, 6, exhaling the same, or maybe making that exhalation a little bit longer. Keeping in mind our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath, so you're gonna hear a snoring like sound in the back of the throat. It's like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose, but you feel that in the back of your throat. And while you're tuning into your breath, we'll continue to talk about Ahimsa, or the way I like to define it is I move with kindness. Oftentimes you're gonna hear it as non-harming or to not do harm. And the emphasis or the focus that we're going to take into that today is effort without aggression. So that's working hard without gripping, it's engaging without bracing, it's being powerful without pushing, and it's staying it's staying present without forcing any sort of outcomes. So listening to your body in the moment, not worrying about what you did last time you came to your mat or what you're going to do next time you come to your mat, listening to each side, being able to figure out how you're feeling in the pose without going a little bit overboard, right? So just leading with kindness. That's really the idea of it. On our next inhale, let's get a nice full body stretch if we're on our backs. Otherwise, if we're in a seated or child's pose, just finding some movement that feels good in this space. Saying hello to your body in this moment. And then either from a reclined space or from an upright seated position, we'll all bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice. And maybe that intention is Ahimsa, or moving with kindness, with an emphasis on effort without aggression. All right. So from this space, we're going to meet in a forward fold at the front of our mat. Once you make your way there, there's no rush to maybe find some rocks, maybe find a little bit of movement before you make your way into that space. But once you do, separate your feet about hip distance apart, so about 2 fists in between the feet, maybe wider. And find an arm variation, maybe reaching for opposite elbows or bringing the arms behind the back, or maybe you're walking your hands from side to side, just kind of checking in with how your body feels. You could also, if you have blocks, place those underneath the hands to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. And also notice what the breath is doing as you come into this shape. So if you started to hold the breath right away, turn it on as you inhale and exhale through the nose. Big breath in. Exhale. And let's bring our feet in towards one another as we roll it all the way up to standing. We can reach those arms up overhead, maybe finding a bit of a back bend here. And we'll exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's draw those shoulders up, back, and down, really leading with that heart or that chest. And we'll inhale, arms reach, gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold, so swan diving or bringing the hands through the heart. Inhale, we lengthen halfway, fingertips to toes or hands to shins. And then plant the palms as you step it back into your plank pose, super strong. Spreading through the fingers nice and wide as you work your weight forward, so coming at the base of the fingers instead of back near the heel of the hand so that you're not getting into the wrist. Inhale. And then as we exhale, lowering all the way onto our bellies. Once we're here, tops of the feet come to the mat, hands are underneath the shoulders. And we'll inhale, lifting up cobra pose. Exhale, we lower. And just start to move through these at the pace of your breath. So feel free to add anything or change it up, maybe coming onto your fingertips at a wide stance and then bringing in some shoulder dips. And the next time that the forehead lowers, bring your hands underneath the shoulders as you make your way into your first down dog. So we'll lift up those hips nice and high. Can bicycle the legs out here. Maybe bend the knees as we move our hips from side to side, just kind of checking in with the body. And then let's inhale, shifting it forward, plank pose. Exhale, we'll push it back, down dog, lifting up those hips. Again, inhale forward, plank. Exhale, push it back, down dog. This time as we inhale, we shift it forward, but we exhale, lowering maybe to a hover this time or all the way down. Inhaling cobra or maybe up dog here. And then we'll exhale into our down dog, lifting up those hips nice and high. Full breath in. Exhale. And then inhale, we shift it forward. Exhale, lower. Inhaling into your cobra or up dog. Exhaling into your down dog. Nice. And then let's bend those knees, gazing forward as we make our way to the front of our mats, however you want to get there. And we'll come all the way up to standing. So from standing, we're going to bring our arms up overhead as we work that left knee in towards our chest, coming into our one-legged mountain. So you can flex through that foot, working those shoulders down as you lift up through the heart center. Big breath in. And then exhale, step it back to runner's lunge. So I like to have my blocks for my runner's lunge, so I'll have them here as I start to shift forward and back in this space. So moving from runners to a pyramid-like pose. Option to lower the back knee down. Option to linger anywhere. Yeah, and the next time that we shift it forward, hold it here. Moving into a twist. So left hand comes down, right arm reaches up as we open it up to the side. Stacking shoulder on top of shoulder, but feeling that energy really direct upwards because we'll end up coming all the way up into our exalted. So bringing that left arm overhead, right arm could come down or you could wrap it around that back where your gaze is either past your shoulder up towards the fingertips. Big breath in. Exhale, ground down through your back foot, and then we're going to face the back of the mat, setting up for triangle pose. So left toes face the back, right toes face the side as we move into that triangle. Really breathing into that heart center, so trying to sit back into the pose as you stack shoulder on top of shoulder. Big breath in. Exhale, lower that hand, find your runner's lunge. And we're gonna do something I call switch kicks. They're very fun. So we just push to the mat and we bring the opposite foot forward. And then we do it again. And we just keep doing these little switch kicks. And next time the left foot is forward, we'll hold it here. And then we'll go to the long edge of our mat towards the right as we move from side to side, these side lunges. Next time you're towards the front, hold it here. Maybe walk your hands forward, or you might find a twist here or a bind if that's in your practice. Big breath in. Exhale. Now face the front of your mat, and we move into active pigeon. So we're gonna bring that ankle over towards the left wrist, tucking the back toes under as we come onto our fingertips in this wide stance. And we can lift and then lower, kind of opening up in this space, or maybe we stay in that forward fold. So really up to you. Next time you come forward, we'll hold it here, kind of leaning into that left side, breathing space into that right hip. Inhale. Exhale. And then hands underneath the shoulders as we lift up. We're going to lean into that right side and swing that left leg forward. Plant that foot, moving into warrior three. So whatever arm variation you like. You could also have a supported version with your hands on blocks or on the floor. Flexing through that right foot, lifting up that left quad muscle. Big breath in. Exhale, feet come together for chair pose. So really sinking it back into those heels. Maybe finding a little bit of a bounce here this first time, just acclimating yourself to the pose. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. All right, let's roll it up. Arms will reach up overhead and we'll go right into our other side. So right knee is going to come in for that one-legged mountain as we find that focal point to focus on, drawing that gaze upward. Inhale. Exhale, step it back, runner's lunge. So again, I'm bringing in my blocks as I start to shift it forward and back, just checking out what's going on this side, because, one side is not necessarily the same as the other. Very often they are not. So just listening to what your body needs, approaching it with that feeling of kindness. And then the next time that you shift it forward, hold it here. Runner's twist, so right hand is down, left arm reaches up as we stack shoulder on top of shoulder. Really reaching up so that we can lift all the way up into our exalted warrior. So right arm is up, left arm is down, finding your variation, finding your focal point. One more breath in. Exhale, ground down through that back foot, setting up for triangle pose towards the back on that right side. So right toes face the back, left toes face the side as we bring right arm down, left arm up. One more breath here. Exhale, lower that left hand down. We're in our runner's lunge, and it's time for switch kicks. So finding your version. Next time the right foot is forward, stay there. And then we move into those side lunges. So we'll go from side to side, maybe with a little bit more ease this time. Next time we're towards the front, maybe adding on if you wanted to walk those hands forward or find a twist or a bind here. Inhaling. Exhale. And then we'll face forward, setting up for our active pigeon. So bring that ankle over towards the right wrist, back toes are tucked under. And maybe finding those lifts and lowers here. Next time you bring it forward, hold it here. Kind of lean into that right side, breathing into the left hip. One more big breath in. Exhale. And then hands come underneath the shoulders. We'll lift up, leaning into that side. We'll swing that right foot forward. Stamp that foot as we move into your version of Warrior 3. So really engaging that right quad muscle. Trying to keep those hips square. Big breath in. Exhale, feet come together, chair pose. Sit it back into those heels. Maybe find a little movement here. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Nice, and then we'll lengthen halfway. We'll bring those hands onto the mat as we step or float it back. Lowering with muscle. Inhaling into our cobra or up dog. And exhaling into our down dog. Let's take a full breath in. Exhale, soften those knees, gaze forward as you step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse, reach it up and back. Jeez. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening. Hands plant as we step or float it back. Moving through all the way to our down dog. Big breath in. Exhale. Softening those knees, we gaze forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse, reach it all the way up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hands as we step or float it back, making our way to our down dog. Or any resting position of choice, because that is our warm-up for today. How are we doing? Check in with the breath, check in with the body, maybe take a moment just to slow it down. And we are going to go into our two main sequences of my practice. If you're new to my practice, I do two main sequences where we do a lot of the poses in the warm-up. I call them peanut butter and jelly. And we do each of them 3 times. So there's a lot of repetition. And at the end, we bring the two together for one long, delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich. I can't do this while you're sneezing so much. So while we make our way to down dog, let's check in with our breath, checking in with our ahimsa because we're moving with kindness and we're using effort without aggression. All right, it's peanut butter time, so make your way to your down dog. And we'll lift up that right leg, opening up the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. Stay here, start to make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. Inhale, we straighten. Exhale, we're bringing it through for that active pigeon. So we'll come onto our fingertips as we inhale, lift. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We inhale, lifting. Exhale, we come forward and we hold it here. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Hands underneath the shoulders. We'll lift up, leaning into that right side as we swing that left leg forward, moving into our warrior 3. So picking up the back leg, we'll extend it back. Inhale. And then on our exhale, feet come together, chair pose, and then we're twisting towards the right. So take that left elbow to the outside of your right thigh as you sit it back into your heels. Option to stay here, or maybe you play with lifting up those heels and bringing those hands down to the side, because I'm going to show you an option to play. So I'm facing towards you instead of towards the side, because I want you to notice that if we're coming into a side crow, you can use both elbows in to shelve yourself here, or you can just use the one left arm as you come into your side crow. But side crow is not the focus here. We're going to be moving into what's called fallen angel. Fallen angel, maybe it's a hot take. I think it's a lot easier than side crow. I'm going to be honest with you. Fallen angel is like if you were allowed to kind of fall with side crow, that's the pose. The only difficulty is that you have to bring your ear all the way down to the mat. And at the same time, you have to lift up your behind. Because if you don't do that, you're going to be a stuck angel, I guess. That's what it would be. So you're coming into side crow, but then you're bringing that right ear down and lifting up the seat at the same time. I like to say it's like you're listening for the ocean, like there's a big shell right here. And it's just an option. If you don't dig it, don't even worry about it. We will meet in that twisted chair and then gaze down. Right fingertips will come down as we open up to half moon. So maybe you have your block there for the right hand. As you lift it up, flexing through that left foot, extending through the heel. Inhale. And then as we exhale, big step back all the way into our side lunge like we did in our warm-up. And then we face the back of our mats, coming into a runner's twist. So right hand is down, left arm reaches up, Finding that twist. Maybe coming into a variation here if you want to come into horizon lunge or a side plank. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And then we can move through a vinyasa or we can go right to down dog. And that's what we've got for peanut butter. I'm going to go ahead and bring one of my blocks to the back. So I've got one at the front, one at the back, which is always helpful. And one-legged down dog, left leg lifts. We'll open up that hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling, staying here or making those circles. Inhale, we'll straighten that leg. Exhale, we'll bring it through for our active pigeon. We'll inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Lower, hold it here, full breath in. Exhale. And then we'll lift, leaning into that left side, swing your right leg forward as we move into our warrior three. Big breath in. Exhale, feet come together, chair pose. And then we're twisting towards the curtain, or towards the left, it's my curtain. So there's the left, right elbow to the outside of that knee. Same options as before. So we can always stay here, but I want to encourage you to lift up those heels and lower the seat. Maybe coming into a twist. So again, I'm facing you. Maybe playing with that side crow, or the easier version, which is fallen angel. So can start out with that side crow, bringing that left ear down as you lift up the seat, reaching those legs up towards the sky. And just give it a try, see what happens. The good news, unlike a side crow, is that you kind of have this teeter-totter motion. So as your head lowers, your butt lifts, your ass lifts, and you're like, oh. So you're kind of stacking yourself in a way. So it doesn't really take a whole lot of strength. It's just more about how you are stacking yourself. Anyway, we will meet in our twisted chair, taking a full breath in. As you exhale, gaze down, maybe have that block for your left hand as we open it up into our half moon, really flexing through the right foot. You're trying to place a big footprint, a wall back behind you. Inhale. And then on our exhale, big bend in that knee. We come into that side lunge all the way to the front of our mat. And then we face forward as we come into our runner's twist, or maybe we add it on from the space. And we'll start to pick up the pace on this. So maybe take that vinyasa. Let's meet in down dog. And this time we'll just go straight through without any of those detours. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through for our active pigeon. We'll inhale, lifting up the chest. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift, leaning into the side so that we swing left foot forward. Inhale, warrior three. Exhale, chair pose to our chair twist. Nice, and then we gaze down, right hand down, left arm and leg lift as we inhale into our half moon. Exhale, big bend all the way to Skandasana. And then we face the back, runner's twist, and make our way to our down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring it through for active pigeon where we inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, lean into that side, right foot is forward. We come into warrior three on our inhale. Exhale, feet come together, chair pose, and then we twist. Gaze is down, left hand down, right arm and leg lift for our half moon. Exhale, big bend in the knee, landing all the way into that side lunge towards the front of our mat. And then we face forward for that runner's twist, all the way to our down dog. Nice, right leg lifts. We bring it through for active pigeon. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift, lean in as we bring that left foot forward. Inhale, warrior three. Exhale, chair pose to that twist. Gaze it down. We inhale, opening it up to our half moon. Exhale, lunging it all the way to the back of the mat. And then we face the back. Inhale, runner's twist. Exhale takes you to your down dog. Left leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring it through for active pigeon. Inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift, leaning to that side as right foot comes forward. Warrior three. Exhale, chair to our chair twist. Gaze it down, left hand down. Inhale, opening up to your half moon. Exhale, lunging all the way back to the front of the mat. We face the front as we inhale, runner's twist. And then we make our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How we doing? That's peanut butter. I want you to understand how much you've already done. That being said, we've got jelly next. Are you ready for that jelly? Are you? Get a drink of water, towel off, check in with your breath, maybe slow it down for a moment. We will meet in mountain pose at the front of our mat. And as we do this, we're moving with kindness, effort without aggression. All right, are we ready? Inhale, we come into our one-legged mountain, so arms reach. We'll bring that left knee in towards our chest, finding that focal point as we inhale. Exhale, we step it back into our runner's lunge where we do our switch kicks. So find those switch kicks. Next time right foot is forward, stay there. Runner's twist, so left hand down, right arm reaches up. And then we lift it all the way up into our exalted warrior. Big breath in. Exhale, ground down through the back foot. Moving into our triangle pose to the back of the mat. Stacking that shoulder on top of shoulder. Inhale. And then on the exhale, bring that hand down. Hop that back foot in for our pyramid pose. So you might place your left thumb into that left hip crease, drawing it back and letting your head relax. Also have the option of hanging out in a standing split or even playing with some hops if that's in your practice today. Otherwise, use this as an opportunity to breathe into the backs of both these legs. Big breath in. Exhale, feet come together at the back of the mat. Let's roll it up. Right knee draws into chest as we come into our one-legged mountain. Big breath. Exhale, step it back. Runner's lunge where we've got our switch kicks. Next time left foot is forward, stay there. Runner's twist, so right hand down, left arm reaches up. We come all the way up into our exalted. Inhale. Exhale, ground down through that back foot, moving into our triangle pose towards the front of our mat. Stacking that shoulder on top of shoulder as you sit back into the pose. Inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down. Pyramid pose, so we'll hop that back foot in, maybe bring our thumb into that right hip crease. Staying here, or option to add anything if that's in your practice. Listen to what you are feeling. One more big breath in. Exhale, and then feet come together at the front of the mat. And we'll start to move with more pacing. So we'll roll it up. Arms reach, left knee into chest, and we inhale. Exhale, step it back, runner's lunge. We'll switch kick for 3, 2, 1. Right foot is forward. Inhale, runner's twist, all the way to our exalted. Exhale, ground down. Triangle pose to the back. Big breath in. Exhale, lower that hand, hopping that back foot in for your pyramid pose. And then feet come together at the back of the mat. We'll roll it up, right knee into chest, one-legged mountain. Exhale, we step it back, runner's lunge. We switch kick for 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, left arm up as we inhale, twist, all the way to our exalted. Grounding down through the back foot, triangle pose to the front. Inhale, sit it back. Exhale, bring that hand down, pyramid. Inhale. Exhale, feet come together at the front. Roll it up, arms reach. Left knee into chest, one-legged mountain. We step it back for our runner's lunge. We switch kick for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, runner's twist, all the way up to our exalted. We ground down for triangle pose to the back. Inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down. Pyramid pose, full inhale. Exhale, feet come together at the back. You're doing amazing. Let's roll it up. Right knee draws in the chest, one-legged mountain. Exhale, we step it back, runners. We switch kick for 3, 2, 1. Runner's twist. All the way up into our exalted. Ground down through that foot for triangle pose towards the front of your mat. And then left hand comes down, pyramid pose. All the way to our forward fold. And then maybe make your way to your down dog or any resting position of choice, because we've made it to my very favorite part of the practice. It's peanut butter and jelly time. So we're bringing these 2 sequences together one last time. I'm pretty excited about it. Are you excited? I'm excited about it because it's the end, but very excited about bringing them together as well. So let's meet in down dog. I know you've got this. One last time. So as we make our way to that down dog, I move with kindness, effort without aggression. Let's do this. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through for active pigeon. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, we lift, leaning to the side. Left foot comes forward for warrior 3. We bring those feet together as we come into chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, we'll twist into that twisted chair. And then bring your gaze down. We inhale, opening up into our half moon. Exhale, big bend in that knee, landing all the way into our side lunge to the back. And then we face the back for our runner's twist, which is where we're meeting up with jelly. So we're gonna lift up all the way into that exalted warrior on our inhale. Exhale, ground down. Triangle pose towards the front of the mat. And then left hand comes down, moving into that pyramid pose. And then feet come together at the front of your mat. We roll it up, reach it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Make your way to your down dog and get excited because the first side is done. All right, one more to go. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring it through for our active pigeon. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, forward. Inhale, we lift, leaning into the side as the right foot comes forward. We inhale, warrior 3. Exhale, feet come together. We inhale, chair. Exhale, we twist, which is gonna be weird, the other direction. And then gaze down, left hand comes down as we open it up into our half moon. Exhale, big bend in the knee, soft landing all the way to the back. And then we face the back for our runner's twist, where we inhale all the way up into our exalted warrior. Exhale, ground down, setting up for our triangle pose towards the front. Inhale. Exhale, hand lowers. That comes in for that pyramid. And then we meet in our forward fold all the way up. Option to take one last vinyasa. Otherwise, make your way to your final down dog. Just noticing all the space that you created, which is so awesome. And then make your way to your seat because you did it. Great work. I'm so excited for you. This is the best moment, right? Just letting yourself kind of move into a seated space, closing your eyes, slowing down the breath, and letting all of the practice that you've done sink in. And feel free to come into a reclined space for our Shavasana, or maybe you stay in more of a meditative seated position. So just making your way to your place. And as you come into that space, being so grateful for showing up to your mat today, so grateful for all the hard work that you put in, and so grateful for this feeling that you created by doing those things, which is a big deal. Be proud of yourself. You did amazing. You're amazing. And know that I'm so very proud of you. So now we're just going to allow ourselves to let the breath be soft and our body still, letting all the benefits of the practice sink in by just being. Shavasana. I want to encourage you to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. But if you're ready, you can invite small movements. If you're on your back, full body stretch. We'll eventually make our way into a seated position where we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, tucking our chin under. And I want to thank you so very much for joining me in class today. It is truly an honor to guide you. And take this idea of moving with kindness with you as you leave the mat, because that's when our true yoga begins. And I know that this world just needs more kindness. So it starts with us so that we can bring it out into the world. Until next time, namaste.